Daniel, welcome to the program. Youth demand, right. So do you want to explain to me, really, first of all, what youth demand hope to achieve? And when you say youth demand, are you much younger than other protest organisations?
Hi, so thanks for having me on the show. I'm Daniel, I'm 22, and I'm a spokesperson for Youth Demand.
It's like Miss World.
Well, good for you.
Thank you.
But if you could answer the question.
Yes, of course. So Youth Demand is calling on the government to immediately cease the licensing of new fossil fuel projects and to revoke the over 100 fossil fuel licenses granted in the last couple of years by the Conservative government. We're also calling on the government to immediately halt the sale of weapons to Israel and the import of weapons from Israel.
And what do you think will be the result of that?
The result of our demands?
Yep.
If we're successful?
Yep.
Well, hopefully,
obviously, yes.
Hopefully it will be to limit human suffering around the world. We know that in Israel, these weapons produced here in the UK are being used to bomb innocent
civilians. To defend
civilians.
themselves, aren't they?
Hang on just a minute. What happens when Britain finds itself threatened by another country? What do we do then?
Well, I think what I'm asking for is very simple here. It's just to stop selling weapons to a country that the international courts have accused of genocide.
You know,
they haven't, have they?
They haven't, no. But
so you got that wrong.
Let me forget that for a moment. Let me try and find out a bit more about how your mind works. What are you going to do, your organisation, you personally, if, as is being suggested, there may well be bringing back the conscription of people of your age and saying you have to join the forces for a couple of years? Would you be prepared to do it?
Once again, I'm here on behalf of Youth Demand. I'm here to speak about our demands.
Just answer the questions I ask you.
But I'm not very informed on this stuff. I didn't even know they were...
That's fine. That's fine. All you have to do is be truthful. Okay. So Youth Demand are basically an organisation you're asking for Britain to stop selling arms.
To Israel.
Oh, yes. Can we still sell them to Ukraine?
Our demand is very simple: is to stop selling weapons to Israel, where they are being used to bomb innocent civilians.
But what effect would that have? Because we only sell 0.02% of the weapons Israel uses.
But hang on,
no problem. We'd suffer more by not being able to get their drones and technology.
Stop it. Back to the question I asked you that he stomped all over. What about the innocent women, children, men dying in Russia, Ukraine, Sudan, many other places around the world, Syria,
Yemen?
But you're only interested in the Palestinians, is that right?
Well, right now we're very focused on this campaign. Our government is complicit in the genocide. We're selling weapons to the side which is,
we sell a lot more to Saudi Arabia, who bomb Yemen. Should we stop selling to Saudi Arabia, who bomb innocent civilians in Yemen?
I'm against the killing of innocent civilians around the world.
You haven't thought about that, have you? Why didn't you?
Well, right now we're very focused on these demands.
Yeah, because that's been going on much longer to Yemen. It's been going on for many years.
Hang on. You're joining forces with Palestinian Action.
Palestine Action.
Oh, sorry. My mistake.
No worries.
Palestine Action. How far are you prepared to go to make... anybody can say, I want ceasefire, I want us to stop selling weapons. Anybody can ask for it, but it isn't going to happen. So what are you going to do?
We're prepared to take whatever action is non-violently necessary to stop this genocide.
Are you calling for Hamas to surrender and release the hostages?
Ash, just a minute, just don't...
But that's important.
No.
What is important? For the hostages to be released?
Ash, what is important is to know exactly what they're going to do. Right. So what are you going to do which is non-violent to bring this about?
Like I said, we're a non-violent civil resistance group.
You keep telling me that.
You sit in a road and glue yourself to it.
Well, I'm not part of the planning or whatever you call it.
But if they ask you to sit in a road and glue yourself to it, you will.
Well, if you two want to find out what we're going to do, I suggest you come on Monday or on Wednesday to Victorian Banquet Gardens at 12.
I don't think anybody will come. It'd be interesting.
Join our actions.
Will you disrupt snooker matches?
Like I said, I haven't been involved in the...
What about my question about should Hamas release the hostages?
Well, Ash, sorry, is that your name, Ash?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as a country, as a government, we sell weapons to Israel. We don't sell weapons to Hamas.
Should Hamas release the hostages?
Like I said, I have no influence.
You see my finger?
Yes.
Follow it with your eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think somebody's brainwashed you about this?
I don't think so.
Well, you don't seem to know much about it. Why would you sign up for something when you don't actually know what they expect you to do?
Well, James, every day I wake up and I see terrible, terrible images on my phones. I saw
Stop looking at your phone. I mean, there are pretty awful images everywhere you look on social media.
You can't type
I get upset when they do that commercial about the donkeys.
Yeah, and I get upset when I see a picture of a child that's starved to death.
Well, you don't see too many of those, and some of them, unfortunately,
not if they're in Yemen, you don't mind.
Made up.
What about all the other kids?
What about people here who are finding it difficult to feed themselves? What about people who are on the streets who are homeless? What about people in this country?
I think that's terrible. We have a broken political system.
So why aren't you doing something about it?
We have a broken political system.
It's not fashionable.
Yeah, but you've got a broken political system, you think, but you're not prepared to do anything political about it. You're threatening action. And what is that? Non-violent action?
Of course.
Not much non-violent action.
But you don't call for the hostages to be released.
Well, look, a majority of the British public want a ceasefire. They don't want to see this genocide happening in Israel. Yet,
so he wants the hostages released, which is very telling, isn't it?
Yeah, our government refuses to stop selling weapons to Israel.
You won't say anything about the hostages.
Even though the vast majority of people in this country want that. I mean, that tells you everything we need to know about our political system. It's broken, and as young people, we deserve better.
Hold on. You're young. You haven't got any life experience at all. I remember when back in the 60s, I'd be saying the same thing as you and thinking what an old fart that is. But with the benefit of life and looking back on it, I can tell you that what you're doing in 10 years or so, you'll be doing a sort of fairly mundane job probably, and getting on making money for your family. And at the moment, you think you can radically change the political state of this country. So who will you vote for?
Well, look, I have a lot of respect for both of you as, older people than me, but right now there's
How do you know that I'm older?
Right now there's a genocide unfolding, and I can't simply sit by and do nothing.
Well, what are you going to do? I keep asking, and you avoid the question.
Well, I keep telling you, I'm not on the planning.
Why are you avoiding the Hamas hostage question? Why won't you say that?
Chuck, shut up for a minute. Ash, shut up. Why did you come in for an interview if you have no answers to any of the questions? Did you come in and think, I'll get a bit of free publicity for our do next week?
No, I think I do have answers to the important questions.
Go on, then. Tell me what you're going to do.
This is not a very complicated issue. I wake up and I see images of children starving to death, and I can't stand for that. So I want to do something.
You don't mind hostages being kept?
Can we stop now for a moment? What are you going to do about that? Nobody wants to see innocent people killed. Nobody. Unfortunately,
well, Hamas do.
Unfortunately, if you're in a state of war, that happens. I'm sure you've done your history. You know how many innocent people Britain killed during the Second World War. But that's history. Both sides, all sides on that, killed millions of innocent people. What I'm asking you is, you've got this organisation called Youth Demand, stupid name anyway. You're demanding a ceasefire and the non-selling of weapons or bits of weapons to Israel. That isn't going to happen. I'm asking you the simple question, so what are you going to do?
We're gonna take the fight to the people who are complicit in this genocide.
And what are you going to do? I mean, you could be you and me complicit.
You're going to throw things on snooker tables and disrupt.
Well, listen, if people want to find out what we're going to do, they can join. They can join us. 12 o'clock.
We're not bothered by it.
Hang on. This is your hobby, mate. This is something that turns you on. You get a little smile creeping across your face.
Have you got a trust fund? Are you from one? That's a lot of people in your protest movement come from very upper class families. With trust funds and no job. You don't have a job.
Have you been to university?
I am at university right now.
What are you studying?
Biochemistry.
Biochemistry.
Yeah.
So you want to be somebody in that line of business, helping people out?
I guess so.
Well, I don't know. You're the one who should know. It's your life.
Doesn't know anything.
But you've really got to look at yourself. You're doing this as a hobby, and I'm telling you now that no one's going to take any notice of you. But if you go and sit down in front of cars, or if you vandalise works of art, or if you try to get in other people's way and mess their lives up, you're going to come up. Just Stop Oil have had to more or less disappear because the public are so anti them. You wouldn't believe it. So what on earth are you going to do? My last question to you, and then we're finishing. What are you going to do to actually make your demands adhered to?
We're taking the fight to those complicit in genocide.
And how are you going to do that?
I'm not on the planning. I'm not here to incriminate myself.
Here we are. Listen, this is what the public think at the moment. Tell him to boycott all Israeli pharmaceutical products plus his mobile phone, and MRI and CT scans as well.
Israeli technology.
Judith says that.
I bet you'd use a mobile phone.
I'm completely in support of the boycott campaign, if that's what.
But you've got a mobile phone, so you're not really standing up to it. You've got a mobile phone, which is Israeli technology. So you should get rid of your mobile phone.
Is that so-called anarchist a member of the Knorr family that make the stock cubes? I don't think you are you?
No, I wish I was, but they're really tasty.
Okay, one more chance, and then I'm going to a break.
Mattison's.
What are you going to do? You keep telling me...
We're going to engage in non-violent civil disobedience.
Yeah.
Until the government meets our demand, and we're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to do whatever it takes to stop
ruffling
genocide
snooker balls
around the world. Whatever non-violently necessary, whatever it takes. Those civil resistance images you've seen from other campaigns, like Palestine Action, like Just Stop Oil, it's going to be happening again because people are sick of this. Because politics is failing us, and as young people, we've been let down. The Labour Party and the Conservatives are driving a genocide.
They're not, though, are they?